in design and construction or construction management. Then we're gonna and one of the team members is taking down the questions that the audience is posting. So to the audience, please write down your questions in the chat window. Someone will be taking those questions, and I think it's going to be shared between us panelists. And once Jim's session is over, Sonali, Parveen, Manoj, we will start with our panel discussion on BIM in construction management, especially in the Indian infrastructure space. And I will moderate, and we're going to, yeah. So for the people who do not know Jim and his cat, so Jim has been in this industry for a very long time, close to a few decades now, and he's also heading our BIM division. He's the VDC director of Technostruct LLC, Technostruct California. So, so Jim, if you want to start.
Sure. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me. I very much appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you all about something that I am very passionate about, and that is building information modeling, which is what we all call it. But I want to just say that that's growing. That's growing. We might not in 5 or 10 years be calling it BIM. We might be calling it something else. Right. I want to just talk briefly with you. Some people here have accused me of being a little long in the tooth. That might be true. I started working in the construction industry in 1981. This was before we had computers, and I learned how to do drafting by hand. As I worked in construction, the first few construction companies that I worked for, we had a motto: never draw more in the morning than you can erase in the afternoon. And that's what a lot of BIM is all about: drawing and erasing, drawing and erasing. For those of you who use Revit, you may or may not know that the word Revit came from a phrase, revise it. That's where the words Revit came from, and I got that directly from one of the directors at Autodesk. That's what we do. We revise it, and we revise it, and we revise it again. And the whole purpose of having BIM in the first place, the whole purpose of having virtual design and construction, is because we revise it, we revise it, we revise it. And we'd rather do that in the office where it's easy to deal with before it comes out of the ground than on a job site where people get angry, they get upset. Next thing you know, there's blows. Next thing you know, cops are calling. It's too much trouble. It's also a lot less expensive, and that's what drives our industry. How can we save money? How can we provide the very best product to our clients as early as possible? So I mentioned that there are different names that we go by. We use building information modeling, and that's, if you pick apart the words, we are figuring out information about the building, and we can do that in Revit, not just with lines and shapes and extrusions, but we can build in information into our families with make and manufacturing information. We could use weight. There's all kinds of information we can put into those entities in the families in our Revit models, including what room it's in, even who's responsible for maintenance, if we want to go that far. It's amazing what we've come to. And so that brings us around to what we're calling it now in the United States. A lot of people are calling it virtual design and construction. And that's more descriptive of what I want to talk about today, more descriptive about where I think the building information modeling industry is going. Because you've probably by now read articles in newspapers, magazines, talk to your colleagues about these crazy things they're doing now. Printing buildings, using 3D printers to print buildings. And we're going into modular construction. Technostruct right now, we're in negotiations for picking up some projects where they'll actually be building an entire restroom or an entire kitchen in a shop, put it on the back of a truck, drive it out to their job site, and crane it into place, and then make the connections. It's money saving, start to finish, and there's much, much more control over quality and over what it's just more control. Sorry, I lost it there for a second. So BIM, why do we use it? What are we doing? What am I talking about? All these things about saving money, and how do we do it? For those of you who are new to the scene, for those of you who maybe you're just hired on or you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, I want to tell you, welcome to an exciting career. Welcome to an exciting aspect of construction. We bridge the design, and out the other side comes the building. That's what we as BIM coordinators, as BIM operators, as BIM professionals do. We start with a design. Often we're handed a design that may or may not work. And our job is to turn it into something that's buildable, that somebody can pick it up on a tablet or on a set of plans or whatever, and go out to a job site and build what we've shown. And so there's whole aspects of, there's different tasks that fall under the idea of BIM. We use clash detection. My specialty is constructability. I take a set of plans, I look at it, and I can tell by looking at the different, by comparing the architectural to the structural, the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing. Is this going to work? Do we have too much stuff in the ceiling? Do I have a set of pipes that are going up inside of a wall where somebody else has decided an electrical panel is going to go? That's what constructability is about, and that'll make or break a project. I'm thinking about one right now that I've been working on yesterday, where we've got pipe risers going up. Somebody came to me, one of my colleagues, and says, "Hey, we've got an electrical panel right here where these plumbing pipes are coming up." And I'm like, okay, we got to take that right back to design team, because that won't work in the field. We cannot install it like that. Everybody will lose their minds out there. And put a pin in that, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But the idea is we want to avoid surprises in the field. And let me tell you, if the electrical guy had come out there with his plans, not looking at anybody else's plans, and put that panel in there, and then the plumbing guy had come out later on to put in his pipe riser, it would have been a surprise in the field, and it would have been expensive. It would have been expensive, and heads would have rolled. So that's what we do. We avoid conflicts. We save money. We reduce the cost of construction. And this is the key to our entire industry. This is what I've been pushing and talking about and being excited about for the past 40 years. Yeah, 40 years. I just thought about that while I was bringing up when I was creating this talk. I have been in this industry since 1981, and I have not had a bad day. I have loved every aspect of my chosen career. I tell people, what do you do? Oh, I'll tell you what I do. I get to draw pictures. I get to play on a computer. I get to solve puzzles, and I get paid for it. I'm in heaven. If you're the kind of person like I am, this is just amazing. This is just amazing that I'm able to get myself involved in a industry where I can show the talents that I have naturally and use those to help people. So on we go. Short history, what I'm talking about from 1981. We didn't do constructability. We didn't do BIM. We didn't even have computers. It was all paper. So imagine this. Think of a table. Think of a table maybe 4 feet by 2.5 feet. Think about a bunch of people wearing hard hats standing around this table because there's no chairs. Somebody walks in the room with paper drawings, mylar, pencil drawings on vellum, lay it on the table. There's my architectural plan. That's the next one. There's the structural plan. Lay it on the table. We've got light shining up through the table so we can see all the different layers. We put mechanical on. We put plumbing on. We put electrical on. We flatten it out, and everybody starts looking. It's not 3D. We've got to think 3D in our heads. but we start finding the problems, and red pencils start coming out. People start circling stuff, writing a note on the side. We've got to deal with this. We've got to deal with this. Everybody gets their own sheet of paper that's got their red marks on it. They go back to their offices. They start erasing. That's what we used to do. It's a lot easier now. We can do it all on Zoom. We can use team meetings, but it's the same process and the same results. Who's going to take care of this problem? Who's going to take care of that problem? Okay, I got that one. That's easy for me to move. I sure could use some help. This is what we do. But we're still bridging design to construction. That's a process. I want to make my process as short as I possibly can. We've got strong adoption by the construction industry, obviously. And you know, I was talking to somebody about this process, and they were asking me, oh, well, you guys have been doing this in the United States a long time. Yeah, we have, but it's been a process. It's been a process. We didn't just wake up one day and Bim was there. And I'm kind of telling you this because this little history, so you understand, this isn't something where we woke up one day, walked into our offices and, whoa, there's the Bim. Oh my goodness. No, it's not how it went down. It's still in process of adoption, even here in the United States, believe it or not. I'm so happy to hear that India and other countries are really embracing Bim and VDC, because it really is key to efficient construction. Where I want to go in the future is what I want to talk about some more. And where I want to go is design industry adoption of BIM, early adoption of BIM. The earlier we work BIM, the more efficient we can be. A lot of you probably understand the idea of LOD, level of design. I'll just touch on it really quickly because it'll help you understand a little bit more where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about for the future. Level of design is a set of numbers that we use to signify how detailed our models are. LOD 100, very, very, you know, it's almost not even a model. It's just lines. It's just maybe even 2D stuff. It's just conceptual, and it's just ideas in somebody's head that they drew on paper. And when we get to LOD 200, we're talking about just kind of blocks in the model. You know, we're just placeholders. We're just taking our space. We're just saying, we need this chunk of area. We need this chunk of area. So we can start to talk with each other a little bit about, okay, well, you can't have your conduit bank running through here because I got my fire sprinkler stuff going on in here. We get to LOD 250, we get to LOD 300. Now we're looking at what we're talking about. We're talking about duct sizes. We're talking about types of pipe. We're talking about slopes for waste and vent. We're starting to really see the systems for what they are, the sizes they are, the elevations they are. What are we doing with them? Where's my branches? Where am I serving my ductwork? These things are all happening at level 200, 250 into 300. Now we're starting to put connectors on the ductwork. We're starting to put elbows and fittings. Are they threaded? Are they flanged? What are they? We're starting to nail down stuff. LOD 300, 350. We're talking shop drawings. We're talking, this is buildable. And this is where we start to move on in our coordination processes. This is where we start talking to each other about who's going to move where. This is where we start getting sign off. We get everybody's in agreement. Yes, this is how we're going to build the building. Then we get into LOD 400, which is as built. We're going to have all of these things going on, and it doesn't matter what size the project is. If it's somebody's house can benefit from BIM. We're doing a lot of somebody's houses with TechnoStruct, but these somebody's houses are 17-story buildings. They're huge. There's thousands of units. And this is reminding me, I love this. I want to tell you this story because this is the difference between old school and new school. And this was the uphill battle that sometimes I had to really fight early on. I worked for a company whose specialty was military housing. And during the 80s and the 90s, they were doing a lot of military housing, but it was all single family homes. It was all flat. It was all 1 story, 2 story, spread out over a large area. And these guys could take 5 different building types, maybe 6, maybe whatever, you know, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and get it laid out. And they had their own kind of BIM going on. Okay, they could say, okay, for this type of house, we need this size of a fan coil unit, we need this many ducts, we need this many diffusers, and they would put all that together in the shop in bags, put it on the back of a truck, marked up and sent out. And then the guys in the field would pick up the bag, they'd look at the tag, they say, oh, this one goes here. They'd take it over there, put it in, stick it in the air, connect it all together, and they were done. And they were like cutting edge BIM at the time. But the military residential market was over. They quit, the military quit building. They quit building housing. They had enough. So these guys are looking at each other going, okay, now what? Right about that time, that's when high-rise residential was starting to just pick up, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And they hired me to help them move into high-rise residential. And they thought it was going to be easy. They thought they were going to be able to take their usual way of doing things and bring it with them to this new kind of a building. And I was looking at them going, nope, not going to work. And they're like, sure it is, it's going to work fine. It's like, I'm telling you, it's not going to work, because I had enough experience with other types of design to where I understood that the unit B on the 15th floor is not going to be the same kind of situation as we have in the unit B on the 7th floor, because the pipe sizes for the mains are different. The fire sprinkler pipe sizes are different. The plumbing pipe sizes are different. It's not the same. Maybe the ductwork's the same. Maybe it is. But everybody else's stuff is not the same. They lost their butts. And I tried to tell them, you can't do this. They had to get out of that, because they couldn't get out of the mindset of bag it, truck it, and send it. We've got to get out of the mindset of doing things the same way over and over and over, because that's how we've always done it. The BIM industry, ironically enough, is built on the idea of we got to do it different, because that's not how we did it. We can't do it the way we did it before. Okay, and how can we do it different now as VDC professionals in this new century? How do we do that now different? And how we do that differently now is to get the design teams on board. If we can manage to get the design teams on board, we're going to reduce RFIs, we're going to reduce change orders, we're going to reduce cost overruns, and that's what the client wants. And Technostruct right now is working with a design team on a project where we are doing constructability analysis and virtual design and construction for an architecture and engineering team, so that when the project goes out to bid, all of the questions are answered. They're going to reduce the amount of RFIs they have. They're going to reduce the amount of construction administration they have to do. They're going to reduce the amount of paperwork and the amount of time that it's going to take pre-construction to get to a point where everybody can say, oh, okay, we're doing this now when the LOD is at like 150 or 200. So that by the time we get up to a point where we're at LOD 250, where we're ready to send this project out to bid, that kinks will be ironed out. The troubles will be very few. It'll just be minor things that every construction company does as a matter of course anyway. So this is my goal and this is my dream, to move VDC, virtual design and construction, from the contractor's seat to the design seat. It's the way we're going. And I'm so happy to see that we're starting to get some early adopters on this. I hope that if you're listening to me today, you're as passionate about this idea of virtual design and construction as I am. Hopefully, if you're a modeler, you just love thinking in 3D in your head, and you get up in the morning and you say, I cannot wait to get to work. I get to build things in the computer. I hope As a manager, you're excited about this kind of process. You're excited about being able to increase your own profits and being of service to other people, because that's what I love the most about this, is that we get to serve other people. We get to help them take their dream and turn it into something that you can turn the corner, look up, and see. I love being able to drive around San Diego and elbow my missus and go, hey, see that building there? Yeah, that's mine. I helped build that thing. That's my life. That's my joy. I certainly hope you share that joy. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you for hanging out and listening to me today.
Thank you so much, Jim. I know there was a bit of a technical issue with you sharing your screen, so I hope that's solved. So we're going to start with our panel discussion. Is that correct, Malvika? Okay. So we are going to start with our panel discussion, where we'll have Manoj, Praveen, and Sonali. And but what we're going to do is we're going to start with a small 10-minute with each of our esteemed panelists about their experience.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, about their experience with BIM in construction in India. If we can probably start with Sonali.
Sure. Can I actually share my screen for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, sure. I don't know how. I'm technologically challenged, so.
You're in this business and you cannot say that.
Yes, Sonali, you can share your screen.
Is my screen, everybody able to view that?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
So I'm just going to walk through a couple of our projects and then get an idea of what kind of BIM and what kind of work is being done in India and across the globe by us, especially trying to use BIM not just for the modeling benefits, but also beyond modeling. So we started this company in 2004. I'm one of the founders. I'm an architect by education, but a technologist, never ever designed anything in my life. So I don't know if I should call myself an architect. But anyways, I love doing what I am doing right now. And when we started this company, we were based in US, and we started by working to support the architects there. It was 2D, and then we switched on to 3D. So amongst our very first 3D projects was in 2007 for a hospital in San Francisco. And since then, we've been working in India, Doha. That's our office. We're here in Aurangabad. We are headquartered. I'm based in Aurangabad here. And amongst the different services that we offer is modeling. There is 4D, there's on-site services. We're also doing a lot of consultancy in terms of setting up BIM offices and BIM practices for different organizations. So amongst our early projects was a couple of, actually 4 campuses for TCS. We worked on the campus in Bhubaneswar, Thiruvananthapuram, Nagpur, and Banyan Park, Mumbai. So all 4 of them were not just the modeling, but we had on-site support that we were providing, helping the site teams utilize the models. Besides that, we also had work that we were coordinating with the PMCs at site, helping them get data out of the model, to simulate, even do some kind of bill verification for them on multiple projects. All the 4 sites that we did for TCS. That's at airport. If anybody can recognize it, you're free to recognize it. I cannot mention the name, but it's in US, and we did the runway renovation for this. What is important here was that as it was a functional taxiway and runway, we had very limited time. The contractor had very limited time to do renovation, and so simulating how the activities would happen was the most critical part. So here we can see there were different activities like a demolition activity, or pouring of asphalt on the tarmac, or there was pavement markings that had to be done on the runway. So all these different activities were simulated. In the beginning, we talked about Nagpur Metro, and I know a lot of people are hearing a lot of things about this. But we are part of the team that has set up the owner support office for Nagpur Metro. We are part of this project as a consortium of 3 companies. And what we've essentially done on this project is not just use BIM for modeling, but we've set up a platform to integrate the model with our project plan, with our ERP. And then it's not just systems which are related to the model, but there are other activities also that an organization has to do, such as their HR management, their accounting. All those are also part of this digital platform that has been set up. Asset management for the metro is a big activity that is being done here. So here you can see not just the construction management, but it's beyond construction management into asset management also that BIM is being used. This is a project we just finished in Doha in 2019. It's a functional hospital since 2016. And we built an as-built model with the sole purpose of facilities management. So here it was not for construction management, no coordination, but facilities management. So every component, every equipment in the facility is maintained. So just to give you an example, wall clock is also an asset that they maintain, because you change the cells and it can be maintained. So we had to identify with the team from their FM system what were the assets, build our models to incorporate all those assets, then tag them and help them integrate this with their FM tool. So it's QFM that's being used, and so it's been integrated with QFM. This is another infrastructure project. So it's not that BIM is just in building projects, but an infra project. These are 3 islands for which the entire road network and the buried services utilities, we've been working on this. We started with the design phase. Through the construction phase, we've updated the models, done clash resolution, and we had a scanning team on site for 2 years, which would scan as things were getting built, and get the data back as a point cloud, update the model based on that. So it's been a very involved process on this project for 3 years that we've done, including the as-built part. This is a convention center for Reliance in Mumbai, Geo World. Again, it's almost 5 years since we are worked on this, started with the design phase, and currently we are looking at integrating all the assets into the model. And by assets here, it's just the equipment that's going to be integrated back into the model. Retail store, Marks and Spencer. Here it was just the interior coordination that had to be done. It was not the exterior. But you can see these images from the store and from the model. A lot of detail went into the model because the entire set of construction documents were extracted from this model. So essentially, there's multiple things that can be done once you have a BIM model through construction and operations also. Thank you. I just want to add one thing is that BIM, everybody thinks that it's a magic wand. It is a magic wand, but you have to use it cautiously and you have to know what it's going to give you. If you expect that it's going to solve your problems in one day, it's not going to happen. So you have to set goals properly for BIM to succeed. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges we see across the globe when it comes to BIM. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sonali. That was really informative. And Parveen, can we have a few words from you? Yes, on construction, especially if something's on construction management. And because our audience is it's not limited to India. We've got a couple of guys from UK and other parts in Middle East as well. So, which I'm seeing from the questions they're asking. Most of these questions are private. So, we can talk about construction management, but I'm more interested in knowing, because there are a lot of student population here, in how it's helping the the construction today. I mean, the kind of projects that you're seeing. Are there any changes in the kind of things that clients are asking to do from you guys? Like I saw Sonali's presentation, where it's a much more evolved rather than just BIM modeling.
Right. Yes, very well put, Roy. See, first, I would say I would definitely congratulate TechnoStruct Academy to organize this event. It's refreshing to see these kind of events and meet people virtually after so long staying home in lockdown for many weeks. It's refreshing to meet old friends and many industry colleagues. Thanks for
Thank you.
organizing this event. And as Jim mentioned initially, see, BIM is a process. It's not about any software or technology. It's about changing the way the design and construction industry has been working for many years. We have been discussing about many technologies, and BIM happens to be the most recent and more advanced technology. When it comes to construction management, I would say we divide into two parts. One is for the construction company, which is doing construction on ground, and second, the project management company, which is doing the project management or construction management. And in construction management, what we do, we divide into two main parts. See, ultimately, it's all about time and money, right? So what happens is, if somehow any technology can save some time and some money, that it will be a wonderful innovation for the construction industry. And in my opinion, and in my humble opinion and experience, I'll show you some case studies around the world. BIM happens to be that magic wand which is changing the way the construction management industry is working, and on both fronts. First, time, and second, cost. And if you compare our industry, which I call AEC, Architectural, Engineering and Construction Industry, or rather you would say design and construction industry, happens to be the most pathetic industry in terms of technology adoption. And that also when we are the largest industry in the world. Annual budget for construction industry is more than 13 trillion. We are not talking about million, billions, 13 trillion US dollars. So that much money goes into construction, and all of you will not challenge my claim that this is the largest industry. You compare with any other industry, whether transport or housing or automobile or clothing or electronic, construction industry is the largest industry in our world. And still we are the least advanced in technology adoption. In last 30 years, 40 years, as Jim mentioned, we started very late in around 1980s, and still we have adopted very less technology in compared to other industry. If you have seen banking industry, they have completely transformed in last 25 years. Automobile industry, aviations, telecommunication, you see, from landline phones to mobile phones, we have moved on. But construction industry is still struggling with technology adoption. So what I will do, I will cover some part of construction management in terms of 4D and 5D through very small presentation. I hope all of you can see my screen. If anyone can confirm, please.
Yes,
So
Praveen, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Yeah. So what I will do, I'll start with basic introduction. See, some of my friends who are joining this session may be novice, some of them may be student, and some of them may be veterans like Roy and Jim. So but I will try to make a balance of some basics and some advanced feature in this very quick PowerPoint. Another thing I want to highlight is I will do it on a little fast pace because time is short and Manoj is waiting. So what I will do, I'll do it on a little fast pace. Of course, anyone have any query, they can connect in one-to-one in this session through Malvika, through Roy, and they can gather more information. So please excuse me if you find the speed of this presentation a little bit faster. See, BIM. In my opinion, BIM is an elephant, and anybody touches different part of element, they see it different perspective. From design architect to a design engineers, who is structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, facade, fabrication, interior designer, they all see BIM as a different element or different animal, I would say. And they all see different benefit coming out of BIM at design stage, construction stage. Today we are talking about construction management stage, but even for the facility management, future renovation, expansion, extension, demolition, facility management, BIM serve different purpose. So BIM is a different animal for all stakeholders. Benefit, Jim has covered very well all the major benefit coming out of BIM. It makes the design better. How? Because you have control over the area calculation, solar studies, shadow studies, cost quantities, bill verifications at the initial stage of the project. You can calculate the area and the initial cost. I will not say detailed cost, but initial cost at the very early stage of the design. So design can be better, they can be optimized, better coordination, everyone comes at one place. So BIM is a platform where all the stakeholders, from all the design consultant to all the construction managers, project managers, even the owner's representative, they come on one single platform and they share the same database. So once you have the same central database, you can, it's garbage in, garbage out. You put garbage, other people will take the garbage out of your inputs. If you do smart design as an architect or an engineer, the construction managers and the construction people will benefit from your intelligent input. So from BIM, it's a combined database where all the stakeholders are taking out and putting in into their own opinions in terms of calculations and quantities. Cost, quantity estimate coming out of BIM are very advanced, very accurate, and if you compare to the traditional quantity surveying, they are nowhere actual construction cost. If you see during the design and construction activities, construction managers are always struggling to meet the cost and time deadlines. Most of the project, I would say 99% of the project are overrun in terms of cost and delayed in terms of time. What BIM can do, it is that magic wand which can bring the cost and timing under control. How? I'll show you next few slides. Clash detection coordination happen to be a major benefit coming out of BIM. During the design stage or during the tender stage, we can solve 80% of the construction problem or design coordination related problems. During the construction, remaining 18-20% can be highlighted, can be mitigated. Pre-construction visualization, BIM is the tool. See, any project nowadays are getting more and more complex in terms of shape, size, area calculations, locality, because land is getting costlier. There are pressure on the construction managers to finish the project on time. So they want to visualize the building, how it will look before even digging the ground. So pre-construction visualization is very important part now, even for selling the project, if it's a commercial or a residential complex, or for construction manager to visualize how the building will be looking after the completion of the construction. So pre-construction visualization is a major benefit out of BIM. Any construction visualization require 3D, and BIM starts with 3D. 3D is the foundation of BIM, and then we can go up to the next dimension that I will cover in next few slides. Faster project delivery, if you can do the smart work, smart intelligent design, better coordination, better quantity control, of course your project will go faster. So project timeline will be met and you will save some time. Safety reviews, BIM is the way for safety and cost management. For all the cost managers and project managers, construction managers, safety is paramount important subject. BIM plays very vital role because BIM can predict things well in advance. After construction, BIM can bring lots of benefit in terms of accurate as-built drawings and for facility management. And last but not least important is reducing the wastage. BIM can bring the wastage down. It can standardize the elements. It can give the construction managers job very easy in terms of pre-construction management. Extent of BIM from basic 3D where we have X, Y, Z dimensions. Previously, we were working on 2D environment, linking the project timeline, that is the project construction schedule. That is the fourth dimension. Fifth dimension will be the cost or quantity, where these 3D, 4D, and 5D are the major areas where the construction management process can benefit out of BIM. 6D for sustainability, heating, green cooling load or heating load or solar studies, shadow studies or green building concept. 7D for the project life cycle management, as built updation, and for the 8th and 9D, BIM can bring various benefits at different stages. What is current problem areas for construction managers? Now 60% of the major capital program fail to meet the cost and schedule target. These are industry data for some reports, which says 60% of the project does not complete on time and within the given cost. 30% of the construction cost is rework. If you have seen the construction site, there are people who are demolishing some part, maybe a very small part of the building before even completion, and that happens to be a major cost. And 55% of the maintenance remain reactive. Whenever we see some problem, then we find the solution. So that is reactive approach. With BIM, we can take proactive approach. We can identify the problems well in advance and we can find the solutions. Okay, let's move. More benefit in terms of important and reduced document errors, reduced rework, construction cost can be saved, time and claim mitigation can be reduced. Australia have some case studies. American Holder Construction Group have some case study. They save the whatever they invested on BIM, it's brought 300 to 500% savings for them. And there are federal government case studies. Benefit of BIM for various projects from electrical, civil construction, mechanical, electro plumbing constructions, electrical. Please, can you mute this person? Let me mute this person who is shouting. Okay, let's move ahead. In terms of plumbing quantity estimates, BIM, as I mentioned earlier, can bring lots of intelligent quantities. They are more advanced than the traditional quantity surveying standards. Even the last digit accuracy comes out of BIM models. BIM can give you quantity which are accurate up to last digit. Even the
Malvika or Divya, you have muted everyone, including Parveen, yeah?
Okay, now I have okay. Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'll go ahead. I'll do it on a little fast pace. I move the speed. Quantities are very accurate coming out of BIM. Are somebody singing a very nice song? Maybe later one-on-one I would like to meet you, please. Thank you. Mechanical room, facility management, data integration, BIM for value engineering. That is again a very important aspect. BIM brings efficiency in constructability reviews and reduce material and labor cost, lower the installation time. So in terms of BIM, I would say it is making digital twin. We are doing the same construction twice. With virtual construction phase, we have the liberty of changes even after doing the construction completion in virtual construction environment. So VDC gives us that power where we have the building completed. But when it goes to site, we can learn from the mistake during the virtual construction phase. So we are doing the same construction twice. First in
learn to speak English, motherfucker.
And second on the site. So once we do the site construction, we can learn from the construction mistakes during the virtual environment, and then we can learn. So value engineering a major aspect. Laser scanning, now even your iPhones have the laser scanning capability. So you don't have to take the measurement tape on site. With the laser scan, you can take the accurate detail of the construction during the construction and even after completion of the construction. BIM helps the construction managers by doing quality control process during the design and construction process. Visual check in software-based interface, clash detection, standard compliance, model integrity check, typical project workflow. This is something about my organization. We are one of the leader in BIM space. Our global footprints. We have global presence. This happens to be our European head office building.
Motherfucker.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. Parveen, we'd like to see that screenshot of that building. But Rohit, can you do something?
Motherfucker.
Can you mute everyone and just unmute Parveen for now?
Yes.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Somebody enjoying this session. Okay.
I think we are good now.
Okay, excellent. So we'll go ahead. Yeah. Okay, that's the India office of BIM engineers. We do lots of internal case studies, training sessions every week, and we have been awarded on many international platforms, many awards, nationally and internationally. We have been awarded on project case studies. We have some of the awards from global events on this Wall of Fame. Many events where we have presented our capabilities and case studies for the benefit of people like you. Now I can share some case studies of building infrastructure projects, and during this you can keep asking questions in the chat. I think Malvika has defined 10 minutes in the last for taking the question and answers. So I'll try to finish this case studies very fast. We are doing Tesla Gigafactory in Berlin, Germany. Industrial plant BIM is playing a very vital role in construction management of this Gigafactory. Next are data centers. Data center has been a very complex project for construction managers. See, anything which is complex, BIM will bring more benefit. And as Jim mentioned, BIM can be used for single and small mom and pop shops also. But BIM brings more value and more benefit if the project is more challenging. And in construction management, we teach people that the most complex challenging projects are either data centers or hospitals. Then comes airports and nuclear power plants, industrial plants, even hotels, educational buildings are complex, high-rise towers. So we have implemented New Children Hospital in Dublin, Ireland, Facebook headquarter in Ireland, police headquarter building in Dublin, Ireland, Airtel data center in India. We have done IKEA furniture store all across in US and India. Very complex. They looks huge. Sainsbury superstores, warehouse, Tesco stores in UK, in Europe, Starbucks coffee all across US. Mill Hill is a high-rise residential tower in UK. Angel Lane is a commercial building. Cookstown in Ireland. We do design development through BIM. So all the calculations, quantities, drawings, project management schedules, everything come out of BIM. Canterbury apartment, Weld is a condominium project in Netherlands, Colin Keith, high-rise buildings, mixed-use development, M+ Museum in Hong Kong. Healthcare, as I mentioned, is a very complex projects, especially for the air conditioning systems and the pneumatic tube stations. Healthcare hospitals and clinics become very complex for construction management. So BIM has very useful benefits for hospital project. We have done many hospital projects, high-rise apartments, Lebro apartments in London, Hotel Crown Plaza, Destook, football stadiums, Mall of Netherlands, Hong Kong theaters, lots of solar buildings to condominium projects, data centers, military defense project, research laboratories, hotels, warehouses, solar, because solar buildings, solar panels on top of large warehouses are getting very common now, and it can save lots of money if we have the accurate angle as per the sunlight available. So BIM brings lots of benefit because with BIM we can do solar study and solar analysis virtually. So it can maximize the benefit of solar panels or rooftop. Skandemolenburg is a residential complex in Netherlands. I will cover some airports and metro projects around the world. What we are doing is Bangalore International Airport, we are implementing BIM on this project. Delhi International Airport is another BIM project in India. Navi Mumbai is a greenfield airport project. Chennai International Airport project. Rajiv Gandhi International Airport project in Hyderabad, Telangana. Schiphol Airport is a as-built 70 BIM project for us in Netherlands. Heathrow Terminal 5 in London we have done. Hong Kong Airport we have done. Changi Terminal 5, the Jewel in Singapore. When it comes to rail and high-speed metro hyperloop projects around the world, Mumbai Metro is one of the projects where we have implemented 5D BIM. And National Capital Regional Transport Corporation from Delhi to Meerut, Delhi to Ajmer, and Delhi to Panipat. They have 3 lines, 100 kilometers each around. BIM is being implemented by us on these projects. Tai Seng is a metro depot in Singapore. Guldar Station, NCRTC, Pune Metro, we are implementing BIM. In Malaysia, we have done BIM for this 52-kilometer long metro line with 35 stations, architecture, structure, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. Advanced BIM even for LOD 400 for this project. Very challenging for MEP coordination. Lots of Chennai Metro, we are doing BIM. West Kowloon in Hong Kong, connecting the mainland China to the Hong Kong Islands. 7 levels, 4 below ground, 3 above ground. Very challenging project for MEP coordination. Eurostar stations in Europe, Rotterdam, Netherlands. MRT in Malaysia. High-speed rail, HSR2, very controversial project in UK. We are doing between London to Euston. Delhi Metro, multiple phases, multiple lines, many stations, viaducts, phase 3, phase 4, lots of stations, corridor 3, corridor 4. We are doing Patna Metro, we are implementing BIM. Delhi, Ahmedabad, this high-speed rail, we are implementing BIM.
Through BIM, the construction sector is undergoing a digital revolution, and we are in the front line of that revolution. BIM is a new way of working, where we approach construction with another mindset. To understand this, we need to see that with BIM, everything is connected. BIM brings together all of the information about every element of a building in one place. BIM makes it possible to access that information for any purpose in the building's life cycle. But it is even more. BIM is information modeling, information management, and process management in a team environment with the same standards for everyone involved. The central point is no longer a 3D model, but a database with access for everyone. The team can exist by members of different companies to work together on one project. BIM creates value from the combined efforts of people, process, and technology. It is a cost-effective method of setting up a new project and being flexible and open for both the client, engineers, and contractors. Because of BIM, we are no longer limited by human borders. The BIM engineers work on projects worldwide. We use BIM as a future-proof solution to design and invent new ways to shape our surroundings and build the cities of the future.
Okay, I'm trying to stop this sharing screen. See, that was a quick one. I did it, I think, in record time. What I want to highlight here is, see, BIM brings lots of benefit, and the global industry have been using BIM for many years now. And India has played a very pivotal role. India and Indians, maybe sitting across the globe, are doing almost 68 or even 69%. 2/3 of the BIM is being done by Indians. But if you see the BIM adoption in India, it is still at the infant stage. Very initial stage, but gradually this is catching up very fast. And the organization like Technostruct Academy, and I have been telling Roy for many years, see, we Indians are doing BIM, but not for India. We are doing it for global projects, global clients. But now is the time we should do it something for our country, our own construction industries. Those are construction managers in our industry should start taking benefit. Something is good for the world should be good for Indians also. And there is a huge lack of trained professional in our industry. Even during lockdown, we are hiring. So we need more hands to support in this initiative of being the global leader in BIM implementation. and India has that capability. We need more trained people, more young people who can get into this, and the growth in this feature in this domain is very fast. Very rapidly you can grow and you can make your career, work on the project, the tallest, the largest, the longest building in the world, around the world, and you can travel everywhere, get benefit, a good salary, of course, lots of respect in the industry and the market globally. So Technostruct should focus more on the training side of it, so make more professional for the global construction industry. And I think they are doing a tremendous job. I must congratulate them for organizing this event. This is one of the best event I have attended in last, I would say, 1 year or so after the first lockdown. And I can see lots of people asking questions. We have more than 100 questions. Maybe Roy can take over from here, please.
Thank you so much, Parveen. I mean, it's always a pleasure to see the kind of work you're doing. I mean, so many airports in India. We haven't caught up in a while, so I did not know you're doing so many airports in India. But that's great. It's amazing. And you see, that's what we keep on telling our budding students, that there are so many job options in India. I mean, think about if you guys are working, whether you're doing a course with us or not, does not matter. I mean, learn BIM from YouTube if you want to.
Right.
But see, firms like XLI, firms like BIM Engineers, and there are so many other firms in India. But these are the firms which I know XLIs because we have a few of our students who have joined XLIs over the years, quite a few. And Parveen and I, we've been friends for a long time. So, but there are so many job options that you can have. Think about doing a project in India, sitting in an office in India for a project in Netherlands, but also maybe the second project can be in India, doing a project like Chennai Metro or Bangalore Metro, or Bangalore New Terminal, which is into BIM, which is great to see the initiative that the government is taking, or the Niti Aayog, in mandating BIM in all of this. And to take this point forward, I'd like to introduce Manoj. Manoj Kumar, for those of you who do not know, started his career as a BIM modeler way back, I don't even remember, 2004 or something? 2004. Right, 2004, with a company called Stellier, where we all worked, Parveen and I also. Stellier was one of the early adopters of BIM in India. It was the first architectural outsourcing firm in India. And from there, he's done a plethora of projects across the world. And I still remember we were also colleagues, all three of us, in a different firm at that time. And Manoj and we got the opportunity to have someone posted at the Nagpur Metro, and Manoj was, "Sir, Nagpur kya jaunga?" And and look at him today. He's done so much great work, amazing work, and in the Nagpur Metro. And I had met him at Nagpur, I think, a couple of years back or 3 years back when I was coming back from a presentation. And he's been instrumental. And today he's also helping out the other metro projects in India. And so I have heard. So I would like to know from Manoj, what's happening in the BIM and how things have changed from the BIM perspective. And it started in Nagpur, which was a little tentative, and there were obviously some learning curves and teething issues, to now where we are also consulting with the other metros. So over to you, Manoj.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. I would not waste the time to introduce myself, because Mr. Roy introduced very well from my side. And since I am working in this metro project for quite a long time, it is almost 5 years in the Nagpur Metro project. And this Nagpur Metro project is the first metro project in India which implemented BIM. Not only 3D BIM, it's implemented 4D BIM, 5D BIM, and we are doing the asset management, or you can say the operation and maintenance activity through BIM itself. So we can say this is the as an Indian and in India, we are the first implementing this thing. And after that, you can see the Nagpur Metro, Chennai Metro, then the Pune Metro, even Mumbai Metro. There are so many, Delhi Metro, so many metros, they are adopting the BIM simultaneously. see the benefit of BIM. Mr. Praveen Sharma, even Jim also like explained so many benefits of the BIM. So I will not talk about those benefits. I will talk directly about the impact of the BIM on the construction management, because in infrastructure project, like now in India, airport projects, metro railway projects, and so many big projects where we are implementing BIM. So what are impact like on those projects, and what challenges we are facing? Because since from last 5 years, I have seen so many like challenges in this project, and how we overcome those challenges, and how we have like smoothly run this BIM environment in this Nagpur Metro project. I will discuss all those. So first of all, I will introduce like BIM, what benefit we are extracting in respect of the construction management, or managing a project on the like live project. So first of all, I'll show see in the construction field, the contractors, they are very slow to transform themselves for the BIM. In India, it is like you can see there are so many construction companies all around us, but very few construction companies are adopting BIM. I can say, like, I will not mention any name, but everybody knows the contractors are not keen to adopt this technology. But yes, our government, since everybody is going towards this transformation, I would say this digital transformation. So we are transforming all these construction activities digitally. So this digital transformation, जो ecosystem है, it's जो digitalization है, this digitalization is like very slow pace in the construction contractors in India.
Right.
So although a chunk in India construction companies have very long way to go in the terms of digitalization, they are quickly climbing. Now they are adopting. They are quickly climbing the rope, picking up the knowledge of the players, more developed market makers to the response to the local demands. So one such aspect, incorporating BIM techniques. So now the benefit, what benefit they are harvesting, the contractors, in respect of the contractor, I would say what benefits they are harvesting from the BIM. See, we all know this BIM starts from the 3D, but before 3D, BIM is also the data sharing, like collaborating, putting all the data at the common environment, from where all the stakeholders of the project can take the data and use that data for themselves. So this helps a lot for the increasing the pace of the project. Like in India, like somebody makes the drawing, there are some changes happening, maybe the communication delays. So for that, we should have some common data environment where all the data are being kept and everybody can access at the real time. So this helps a lot to the contractors. Another things, there are communication, like better communication, better decision making for the taking the data from that common data environment. Clash detection, everybody knows clash detection is very fine tool to make early detection of the conflicts and clashes. Design quality is always increasing. Cooperation of different working groups is, well, like from the BIM we can see. I'll show 2 or 3 slides also for the 4D and 5D simulation, and how can we achieve the benefit from the 4D and 5D simulations. Time and cost estimation, obviously we are doing the time in the Primavera in traditional method, and this cost, there are so many software having, we are like ERP, we in the Nagpur Metro project, we are having SAP. So we collaborated all these Primavera 3D models and SAP to have the time and cost estimation. Obviously, all these happening, the cost will be reduced. Since we have the Primavera linked with the 3D model, we can better plan our resource, and we can say the resource management we can achieve very good manner. Maintenance review we can achieve the maintenance schedule, maintenance review through the 3D BIM model. I told you document management is also like it is like the, you can say, the base of this construction industry, because without any document, without any drawing, nobody can achieve the like good construction, construction in the like building or project. So this RFI and RFI accountability is in real time happening, reducing number of the RFIs and at the construction stage is just because of the BIM. Risk detection we can achieve through the BIM management, and estimation of the amount of materials, reducing wastage, all these like benefit we can harvest from the BIM models. Now I would just like to share. Yes, so we can like conclude BIM is not a building model but a construction model. In fact, the BIM makes the significant contribution to the constructability by the modeling construction process. And now I just want to discuss on the challenges. What challenges we are facing? The challenges is first.
Manoj, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. No. Right now I'm not sharing my screen.
Okay.
I'll share my screen.
All right.
Just like couple of minutes. After couple of minutes.
Sure.
Challenges. What challenges we are facing nowadays? First, adaptability. In India, in Indian context, in Indian like design firms, you can say construction companies, the adaptability is very slow. Now the people are adopting BIM because it is very like in globally it is using, and we are always in Indian, we are always followers. I have been working in this environment since a long time. It is around 16 17 years in the BIM industry only. I have experience, total experience of 20 years. Out of 20 years, I am working 16 to 17 years in the BIM only. And in last 16 to 17 years, I worked for India. Last 6 years, I am working for India only. Before this 6 year, I can say for 10 years, my early 10 years for the BIM contribution is only for the abroad, other countries, not for India. Now, it is very good sign for us. We are we are adopting the things. So this adaptability issue is there for the contractors or for our designing firms. Another is the investment as capex. Like in BIM, there are like some money is invested as capex. See, the BIM benefit of BIM is lifelong. Somebody like think that I am investing right now, it will not give me the significance value at the moment, but it will give, you will harvest the money, harvest the profit, harvest the benefit for the lifetime of the lifelong of the building project. Or this small contractors also a big challenge for our construction industry, because small construction contractors, subcontractors, they don't have any like digital environment, the BIM technology. This type of the digital transformation, I think they don't have. And yes, last, the government body should take it mandatory, like for the Indian metro projects, our Indian government made this mandatory for the implementing BIM in all metro projects after this successful implementation of BIM in Nagpur Metro project. That's and now I would like to share a small slide for the like I would just want to discuss on like where is this?
Yeah, we can see your screen, Manoj.
Yeah, I would like to discuss on the 4D and 5D simulation. This 4D and 5D simulation is very helpful for the contractors and the clients during the construction stage. It achieves through 3D BIM models, our Primavera schedule, and the cost. You can have the for the cost Excel sheet. You can have the ERP. In the Nagpur Metro project, we have the ERP as SAP. So what is this 5D or 4D simulation? To integrate the additional dimension of cost and time with the 3D model. It hence to enable end client to visualize the project is an unparalleled fashion, is multiple activities happening simultaneously can be viewed and planned for the most effective. Means we add the we add this Primavera schedule and BOQ cost with 3D model in some software. There are so many software available in the market. In the software, we link all these all the activities with the 3D model and simulate this, and we can view what is happening over the site. Like somebody update the Primavera schedule whenever this construction happening. The project manager having their Primavera schedule, they can update the Primavera schedule time to time on the daily basis, on the weekly basis. Like so, whatever the updation being done in the Primavera schedule, it is visualized in the 3D model also. So time and cost can be remotely monitored and acted upon. The 4D and 5D simulation provides the dashboard to manage entire project. These can be further integrated with the legacy technology like ERP to manage procurement and other tasks in the efficient manner. In the simulation, the client contractors can visualize the 3D model, 4D time, and the planned cost 5D in the project on a single platform. So what tools we are using for these like visualization of the progress of the project? There are so many tools available in the market, like RIB, Synchro, Pulse, Navisworks, Vico, and other also there are. But we in Nagpur Metro, we are using RIB i2 software for the simulation and the progress monitoring. I just want to show some slide. These are the real like actual project slide which we captured from our project. This is the progress monitoring. Client and contractor can actually progress on site activities. What is happening actually through our software, and it is integrated with the Primavera and getting actual progress on the screen linked with the showing the progress of the different colors. You can see in the screen, and the screen this green color is showing. There is a particular date. You can see the date, start date 11th, means 28th November 2015, and end date is this 18, October 18. And on these, between these days, what work has been done on the project. So this is one station, and on this one station, which activity is currently being done, it is showing in the green. So we can like see what work is being done now, what has been done previously, few months before, 4 months before, 10 months before, or 1 year before, and what is to be done in the future. Like maybe I want to see what work will be done completed in the next month or next year, whatever. So in that case, we can extract the BOQ also, like whatever work going to be done in the next phase, next month, we can see what cost is associated with that particular work. So this progress monitoring tool enable us to monitor or visualize the progress in 3D format. Next, and we can analyze the delays also, like some in the construction field, so many things is is being delayed, or sometime it happened early also. So we can visualize what work is not at the like proposed time, or what are the planned time was there, and the work is not being completed on the planned time. We can see like with the color coding. Like you can see this dashboard, or in this slide, we can see the green color is showing, light green color is showing work completed in previous month, or work completed in the current month, one work completed in planned in the current month but not completed or not executed, delayed work in the current month. So these type of the dashboard, this type of the like planning, we can visualize through the 3D model. These are a screenshot of the actual whatever we are doing in our project. It is the screenshot is taken from there only. So this delay analysis we can do through the 3D BIM modeling, or we can say this is the 5D BIM. And actual cost monitoring also being done through this 5D BIM modeling. We can, since we have integrated the 3D model with the cost, so we can see actual cost, what the cost has been incurred so far, and what cost to be like to be incurred in the next month or next year, or whatever time we can achieve the dates. Like you can see, we can in the screen we can see the date also, month also. We can put the month of the end year, and from there we can see the what is the budgeted work, what is the cost of the work scheduled in the current, and actual cost of the work performed in the current period, and actual cost of the performed on the till the current period. So these type of the cost we can achieve from the progress monitoring and actual cost monitoring tools. These are the few benefits which I like captured from the my live project which I have shown you, and I hope you people understand this thing, and you can like
Yep.
yes, I just wanted to stop the sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This like the benefit of BIMS, there until like there are so many students like Mr. Roy told me that there are so many students are attending this event, and the student like we have we more discuss about the 3D part only, 2D 3D, and like Revit, AutoCAD, or this type of things. We generally don't discuss on the this 5D BIM and achieving the like benefit of the 5D BIM from the 3D model, from the Primavera schedule, from the cost or BOQ. So these type of actual like live progress or live benefit I'm sharing with you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manoj. It was quite entertaining, and it's good to see. You know, as Sonali had said earlier, there was a lot of discussion about Nagpur Metro, and she had shared, and there's a lot of information and misinformation as it goes in the internet. And here we have two people who have been part of Nagpur Metro as various roles, who have shared their real life experience and how that has progressed. And just so you know, it's touted as a success story, and I'm sure it is. But what I would like to say is, from what I know, and I have some experience with AECOM who have been, I've heard from them as well, is that it's been a fundamental or how should I put, a stepping stone towards where BIM needs to be in India. And I see a lot of questions here, which as a group we are going to take. And however, what I'm going to say here is that for all you students out there who are still asking yourselves the question, or us the question, why should we learn BIM? Why should we? It doesn't matter whether you're learning from an educational institution like TSA or you're doing it by yourself. I say this to everyone, okay? Just because we run an institute does not mean you need to join that, okay? But the question you need to ask yourself is not whether we should be learning BIM, whether we should be knowing about BIM, whether your intent is to be an engineer or an architect or a construction management professional. The question is, can I even survive tomorrow in the design and construction industry without knowing BIM? The answer to it is no. Right, Parveen? So you're on mute. Parveen, you're on mute.
Sorry. The sole purpose of being in any industry or any job is not just to survive, right? You want to grow.
Right, but Parveen, the question is, if you see that everybody's asking the same question, and we face it every day. Why should we learn BIM? What is it going to help? How is it going to help in my career?
Why you learned writing and reading? Why you learned driving?
True.
So these are necessities. So BIM is a necessity in construction industry now. It's not a it's not a luxury. It's the basic necessity. Like everyone, see, people have been asking me, see, why we need computer? We have been doing drawings with pencil and paper. What a beautiful drawing we draw online. People admire, people look it like a piece of art. Yes, sure. But how much you can earn, how many projects you can manage with that fancy pencil and the eraser and the sharpness? How many projects a very wonderful architect can take at a given point of time? Maybe 2, 3, but with BIM you can manage maybe 8, 10.
True, and I have the question is very different. Would you hire someone who does not know BIM? No. Can I hire someone who does not know BIM? And we are an engineering company, and more of an engineering company and less of a BIM company. But even us, I mean, all my engineers who started off joining, sir, we don't know AutoCAD, but now they have to work on BIM if they have to work. Because in US, and it's going to soon become in India as well, all your deliveries are going to be on BIM. All that you receive from the client or from the other general contractors, subcontractors, your other consultants are on BIM. So you can't even survive. You can't do your job if you don't know BIM. And in India, slowly it's becoming a reality. I mean, and I'm sure with all these projects that you guys are doing, it is a ground reality now. It's not about tomorrow. It's about today. I mean, people who are not, being able to, check BIM deliverables, are going to struggle, are still struggling today. And let's take a few questions. And there are a lot of questions. And thank you so much, Sonali and Parveen. You have been answering those questions. And so let me ask you this question. BIM is widely used in European, so we're going to do that. So here's a question. Does BIM facilitate lean construction? Sonali, can you take that?
Yeah, I actually answered it, but anyways,
Okay.
It definitely does, because any wastages that we avoid is our goal towards having a lean construction, and wastages of material, of time. Even we can, once we know how much quantity we are going to use, we can do our resource planning better. So labor wastage, that also can be managed through lean. And once we've linked our project plan and we've simulated, we know the optimal time we are going to need. So that everything is a saving that we can do, and we can plan this much in advance before we even get onto site. So that also is a big lean advantage.
True. And while we are there, there's a lot of question about digital twin. Do you want to take that? I'm not going to go into specific questions, but in every webinar we have at least 2 or 3 questions about digital twin. And
so I think digital twin is the future. We cannot ignore that. Essentially, if we are building a model, we are using it construction, we are linking our assets in the model, then the logical next step is having a digital twin. And there is not that it's your house is not a digital twin. We have air conditioners at home, which we can have an IoT enabled and operate from our mobile phone. I have CCTVs at my home, which I see on my mobile. So it's already a digital twin. It's just what your definition of digital twin is what you need to know. It's going to be different for every project, for every city, for every person. And that's where the future is.
Yeah, and if people want to know what digital twin and the revolution of digital twin that you guys that's happening, I would advise one of the firms that I follow and on digital twin and the technology that's being used, and it's revolutionary technology, is City Zenith. It's spelled CITYZENITH. If you guys want to have a look at that, City Zenith is by it's the CEO is Michael Jansen, but there are so many other people who are involved in that project. And so have a look. They've done some really good work at city level. They do at city level, and but as Sonali said, digital twinning is not a very new technology. When the advent of VDC happened, it was about digital twinning. It was about creating a simulation of the project, a digital, a digital simulation of a project, and then going to site. And now, like all things that reach US, it gets a new term is coined, and now we're talking about digital twin. But for all us professionals who've been in this field, that's what we've been doing for all these years. And I have another question. This one too, I want to ask Manoj. Logistics planning, or what software would you choose? Synchro, Naviswork, Rib2? Which one would you like to choose?
See, for the logistic planning, we have so many monitoring software which is directly linked to our planning tools. For the logistic planning, like here in our project, we are using RIB, and for this BIM, we are achieving for the contractor, they can plan very well in advance what materials or the materials to be procured for the site for the few coming month or coming week, and in this way they can help us to reduce the cost of the waste of the material as well. We are aware about what quantity of the material to be procured in the future. So this tool helps us very very good way for the planning, logistic planning.
Thanks, Manoj. And guys, just so you know, I'm combining questions here for the sake of time. There's been a lot of questions on ISO 19650 and its implementation. How fast is the transition, and what sort of documentation needs? Parveen, you want to take that?
Definitely. See, standardization always helps, whether it's ISO or BIS or smart cities, whatever standardization you want to adopt, that will always help in saving time, because you want to leverage the manpower and the time you have spent in setting up and completing a project. So you want to carry that legacy forward to future generations and future projects. See, all of us are not here to do only one project, right? So to carry that legacy, we have to standardize things, and it always helps. And on this, similar line, like Manoj mentioned, lean, clean, and green. We have a revolution in Europe now, and in Germany, I was doing a seminar for Deutsche Bahn, that is German rail, and their motto was lean, clean, and green construction. If your construction has to be intelligent, it has to be lean, and clean means beautiful, error-free, clash-free. There should be no anomalies in your construction, and it should be green, environment-friendly. Now we are talking about zero energy buildings, where buildings are utilizing all their waste within themselves, and they are generating energy, and there are smart meters. They generate electricity with electrical panels on rooftops and all, solar panels. So definitely, yes.
The next question, this one I'd like to ask Sonali, it's asked by Oais. In most of the Indian projects, the end user on a construction site, the site supervisor was barely qualified in using basic tools. How we as a BIM stakeholder can simplify these tools so that the end user finds simple and easy to use interface. So basically the question is, how can site engineers make it, how can you make life of a site engineer easy for using these tools? But just so you know, the person who's asked this question, who has said site supervisor who is barely qualified, I don't think there's a site supervisor who is not an engineer. So I'm sure that there is the basic minimum qualification required. So Sonali, you want to take that question? How can we help site supervisor to make life simple for a site supervisor?
So actually, I think if you have the right training, you can do anything. Imagine a 3-year-old child can use a mobile phone better than I can use. So there is nothing that we cannot do. So even there are tools where you can at the site with your mobile camera get a picture, upload it, and it captures your progress that is happening on site. So there are simple things. We don't want the labor on the site or the foreman on the site to be doing 20 things. If we just ask him to do 5 things which are part of his critical reporting or data gathering or whatever is needed, he can do it. I think the expectations need to be set correctly. If we say you have to do these 20 things when that is beyond his understanding, it's not going to happen. So there is nothing that cannot be done. The drive has to be there and it has to be pushed through. We have to change, only then it can be done.
Perfect. Geotech and earthquake engineering in BIM. Any of you want to take this question about the role of geotech and earthquake engineering in BIM?
I'll take it.
Sure.
See, I mentioned in the chat box also, any sort of analysis require 3D. 3D is the base of any analysis in this world. Whether it's air analysis, traffic analysis, or your wind tunnel analysis, or solar study, shadow study, or your heating cooling load calculations, or your earthquake analysis, flood analysis, fire escape analysis. All analysis happens on 3D. No 2D line can do any analysis. So on 2D line, there is no analysis possible. So yes, BIM may not directly do all these analysis, but BIM can certainly facilitate those analysis. You can choose specialized software for geotechnical analysis. You can do for geothermal analysis, but BIM, as we mentioned, and all my esteemed panelists, friends and colleagues have highlighted that BIM starts with 3D. And 3D is the base for any sort of analysis. So whatever analysis you want to do, you must require a basic 3D model. And BIM starts with 3D. So to answer your question, yes, BIM helps and facilitates all those analysis.
Yeah, and there's another question which was there. Someone is, I think Manoj B. Trimble products are useful for supervisors to visualize construction retailing, but now it will get implemented in a few years. I'm going to take that question. It's not true. It's getting implemented. I mean, in US, we use Trimble for nearly all our projects. Okay. And we have to, there's no way around it. So we have to use Trimble points, give out Trimble points for all our projects, because that's how core cutting, drilling, everything happens. Okay. And now in India, I personally know, and we don't do projects in India. Okay. So we give it out to our friends anytime we get project calls in India. But from what I have been tracking, there are at least, and we have consulted on 5 different projects in India where the client is definitely using, and all those 5, 4 of them are in Maharashtra and 1 in Bangalore, where we're using Trimble points for these projects. And they have seen enormous success, and they have been, and in most of these projects, they have been using a lot of prefabrication in their projects. So it's not something that's going to happen. It is happening. It's not very difficult to learn. You don't, as a site supervisor, you do not need to learn how to create Trimble points, how to generate Trimble points. But as a site supervisor, you need to know how to work with them. Okay. And there's a lot of question about site supervisors. So what I would also like to say is that, for example, BIM 360, BIM 360 design, BIM 360 docs, BIM 360 coordinate, just the entire BIM 360 suite that we have in Autodesk, and there's so many others. I'm just taking Autodesk as an example here because it's the most used, though it might not be the best. So as a site supervisor, all you need is a tablet in hand and an internet connection, and you will be able to see if anyone's marking something, all the drawings, the 2D sheets, even the 3D, all the deliverables and the communication that has happened between each other. You can quickly mark out something, an area, bubble it up and put a note and send it out to the relevant person. All we are trying to saying is that there is no excuse for not being tech savvy. Okay. Parveen started out his presentation saying that we in the construction industry we the largest industry which spends the least amount of money in technology adoption. It's not, it's slowly changing, Parveen. I think you and I both seem to have seen that, but yeah, 10 years back, it was the case. So as a site supervisor, as a site engineer, it's not an excuse that we can give anymore and live with that we not tech savvy enough to use a computer or tablet. You have to, and otherwise you will be pushed more and more towards the low end of projects in India and the better projects. Like, for example, if you want to join an L&T as a site supervisor, you cannot if you're not tech savvy. Okay. So that's where we are, and let's see, there are other questions here, and sorry guys, we might not be able to take all the questions because we're already 17 minutes past our time, so we're going to try and see 3 more for 45 days. Let me ask this one question. I'm just not going to take any more question. I want to ask this one question individually to all our 3 panelists, starting with Manoj. As a fresh engineer or an architect, what is my future in if I learn BIM? Can you help me get a job or a better job?
Definitely,
and that's
definitely. It's the future. It's the future. Like Praveen, Mr. Praveen told na, why we should learn driving. So this BIM is the future. It is very much mandatory. Like 20 years before, the people in the architecture college or the engineering college, they do the drafting by pencil or in the drawing board and pencil. After in 2001 or 2000, the people started working on the computer in the office. And nowadays the college itself teaching them AutoCAD and the BIM software. So this is the future. Everybody knows, all colleges knows, all institutes knows that the manual drafting or the hand sketch are not it should be known to everyone, but it in the market, in the industry, this BIM software or the technological tools, it is mandatory for the fresh engineers or architects.
So let me ask this question to Sonali. And you deal with a lot of, I'm sure you deal with a lot of construction managers and PMC companies in India with the kind of projects you're doing. So do you still find resistance from the engineers and the general contractors about the BIM deliverables that they need to create?
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the biggest reasons for this resistance is they feel threatened. BIM is very transparent, and if you've made a mistake, if you're trying to hide something, BIM is not going to let you do that. And we've come from a legacy where we don't accept our mistakes and blame others. So that's why nobody wants to adopt BIM. I think it is going to be a challenge, and Manoj has very well explained at Nagpur how the challenge has been there and they've overcome. So it's going to take time. We cannot expect the change to come overnight. I remember 10 years ago, we would talk to people in India, owners, contractors, and they would say, "What is BIM?" And we've moved beyond that today to where people are saying, "Tell me how I can implement 5D. I don't want to talk about 3D anymore." So just in 10 years, we've come this far. I think in the next 2 years, with the whole COVID pandemic and remote working and the entire digital transformation we are talking about, we are just going to go jump like we've never jumped before. So we cannot escape not learning technology, adopting technology. And I think for any person who's trying to learn this, it's like breathing. You have to do it. You cannot otherwise be surviving, not just in this industry, any industry.
Thank you so much. Parveen, there is another thing, and you guys are CEOs and CXO level people in organizations. Everybody asks this question, Srihari, and there's so many others. What does a fresher do? I know there are job opportunities for freshers, but what does a fresher do? Why don't freshers with BIM training? Do you think freshers with BIM training get hired?
Certainly. See, their frustration is also real, Roy. We have to see from their perspective. During this pandemic, it's getting difficult to arrange face-to-face interviews. And even if I hire people, how do I arrange work from home? He does not have a very high quality internet. He is staying at a very remote location.
True.
Believe me, today only I have hired 4 new staff members, but unfortunately they cannot start work. So that is the real problem for beginners, for starters, but they don't lose hope. It's just a matter of few weeks. Things will start getting normal very soon. And definitely there are possibilities for freshers with skill set. Without skill set, I cannot guarantee. But if you have the required skill set, definitely freshers are being most welcomed in most of the organization. In fact, I would say they are the asset to make a balance, to bring the cost down. So if I can get a youngster at a very low salary with higher skill set, and it's win-win for him and me both. He will learn and I will, and both of us will earn. I would not say me only will earn or he will, but both of us will earn. So it's a good opportunity for freshers. There are ample opportunities. We are hiring right now. I need 25 new engineers. And for even full Saturday, since morning, I have been talking to people over phone, Microsoft Teams meeting. All my laptop are buzzing since morning for interviews, calls, PPTs, presentation, profiles. So things are moving very rapidly. It's just a matter of few weeks. Freshers, beginners, don't lose hope. There are ample opportunities, but if use this downtime or this pandemic time or lockdown for upgrading your skill set, brush your skill sets, spend more time on internet or academies, enroll to online forms. Online, there are free courses available. Of course, paid courses are there. So subscribe to them, utilize your time, and just keep your hopes alive. Things will change very soon.
True. And I'd like to add, and this is me talking as an employer, and we don't have such a big team as Sonali or Parveen, but we have somewhere around 100 people in India and in Mexico, which faces very similar situations like in India with a bit of a knowledge gap. But trust me, the biggest challenge is hiring in US. It's a challenge, okay? Because people do not study over there, and you have to import people. But in India, I have hired over the last few years. In 3 years, we are just a 4-year in India. In the last 3 years, I've grown from 10 to 100, and out of that 100, I think I have 70 people who are freshers. Okay, guys, so all of you who are asking questions, what happens to freshers? they all get jobs if they can learn. The question is, and I'm not saying come to TechnoStruct Academy. No, you don't have to. You can learn from YouTube. You can learn from your peers. You can. It's about the dedication. You're going to put in that hard work for 3 to 6 months, and not just learn software. That's the mistake we all make. We just go ahead and learn Revit and think we know BIM. No, you'll not get hired by learning Revit. You will not. You need to understand how a BIM implementation happens in a progression from the design stage to the design development stage to the construction stage and the handover stage, and with project experience, okay, where you have at least worked on, even if it's a dummy project, you've worked on that kind of a project, faced challenges, solved problems, done clash patching, done 4D, taken out quantities. Because as an employer, I cannot hire, for me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Parveen and Sonali, for employers like us, when we hire, we have to understand how fast, the question we ask is how fast can we put this person, him or her, on a paid project? Because we are not a charitable organization. We charge our clients for the work we do, and we have to get that work done by some people, right? And this is true for every organization in the world. So when we hire, the only thing that we look at, and the other things are just attributes, is how fast or how can I put this person on a paid project, and two, how efficiently can this person work. The challenge why people hire less of freshers is because that time between hiring and putting that person on a project, being confident, is about 2 to 3 months. Whereas if you have learned from a good institute, be it TechnoStruct, be it Ziggurat, be it any reputed institute, okay, not any Tom, Dick and Harry CAD center, okay, that time is shortened by a week to 15 days, okay? So that is the advantage we employers get. We can shorten the time when hiring to actually putting that person on a project. That's the beauty of it. And yeah, so freshers do get hired. But I think we have overshot our time, guys. I mean, it's unfair of me to keep holding the other people, and it's a Saturday evening. So guys, I think there's a form which Rohit has posted, and I think Rohit, you can post that form once again. If you guys have any other questions, just put in that, and we will answer. Put in your email, and what we'll do is we will collate all the questions and answers from this session, and we will send it individually to you guys. And and we will try and do that. Plus I think this was happening live on YouTube. So you have the recording over there. You can go to the YouTube channel, I think TechnoStruct Academy, and you will be able to see the entire session over there. I think it takes about an hour or so to process. So you can do that. So I would really like to once again thank Manoj, Parveen, and Sonali for taking the time out. I mean, close to 2 hours now on a Saturday evening to help out our budding engineers and architects. And it's been really informative. Jim, I think, has moved on. It's a Saturday, but I would thank Jim personally. So Parveen, thank you so much. Manoj, thank you so much. Sonali, thank you so much. And
thanks to you also for providing this, to arranging this huge event in this pandemic time.
Thanks, Roy. Yeah, thank you, Sonali and Manoj. It was nice meeting you virtually. Hopefully, we'll meet face to face very soon. And let's keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, Parveen and I stay within a 2 kilometer radius and we haven't met in 2 years. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, Sonali. Thanks, Praveen.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.